All right, everyone. Thank you for joining the podcast tonight for our weekly mini charge episode. And I'm excited because I'm not alone tonight. So Sebastian is joining us. Say hi, Sebastian.
Hi.
And we're joined by our good friend, Doug. Doug, what's going on, Doug?
Well, no, how are y'all?
Doing all right. Me and Doug were talking about the weather before we got on when we only live an hour and a half from each other. So it was a very short conversation. All right. So tonight we are talking about the Hyundai Ioniq 6. And we're going to talk about why you, Doug, decided to get rid of it. And it may be for not the reasons that you expect. But yes, Doug got rid of his Ioniq 6. But before we get started, Doug, tell everyone how many EVs you have owned, because I'm pretty sure if you have owned more EVs than Sebastian has owned cars in his lifetime.
Probably so.
Yes.
I'm not really sure at this point, maybe 5 or 6. Let's see, it started out with the BMW i4.
Okay.
Then I got a Tesla Model 3.
Mhm.
And then I got a Rivian R1T. And then went back to the Model 3. My wife started out with the Ioniq 6, went to a Blazer EV, and currently has a Porsche Taycan.
So you went from a Blazer to a Porsche.
Yes. What's the upgrade?
We're
How
going to
many
call
was
you
that?
the Jeffersons because you're moving on up to the east side. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I also have
So, yeah.
a Bolt for my delivery car for my business.
That's right. You have a
too.
Bolt. So hey, Sebastian, how many cars have you owned in your lifetime?
11?
You're 20 some years old and you've owned 11 cars.
I have a
That's
problem,
impressive.
okay?
You've owned that's like one a year, like for as amount as you've been driving.
There were a couple in there that didn't last long.
The math
For various
is not
reasons.
mathing on that.
My second car I had for 6 months, and then I got tired of fixing it, and it went away. And then I had a truck for like 9 months.
I'm almost 50, and I just barely have you beat. So that's the sad part
Joel,
about it.
I have a problem.
You have a problem. Intervention time. All right. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Ioniq 6. So, Doug, first off, tell everyone during your carousel of EVs, why did you decide on the Ioniq 6 at the time when you purchased it?
Well, it was a 2023 model, and at that time, it just got the Car of the Year award, had all these accolades. So we went out down to test drive it. And my wife liked it. It was for my wife, and she liked it, so we decided to buy it. And honestly, the car it was great. It rode impeccably. It was smooth, quiet. It just had a lot of problems since then.
Got you. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about next. So you had the Ioniq 6. Kind of what was the first initial problem?
About 2 or 3 months after we bought it, it started having charging problems with the derating on level 2 charging. It was starting out charging at 11 kilowatts, and after about probably 30 minutes or so, it would drop down to like 6 and just hang out there. So we took it back in. Yeah, we took it back in, and they changed the charge port out, and it worked for a while, for another 4 or 5 months, and it started doing the same thing again. So they changed the charge port out again. And that worked. It was also about the same time they did the software update, where they have like a dynamic charging based on temperature. As the temperature rises, the charging speed lowers. As it cools back off, it'll go back up. So that was about the same time we got the second charge port put in. And after that, we didn't have any problems with it. Of course, it would never charge at the full 11 kilowatts for more than 30 minutes or an hour, if that. But that was the end of the charging port saga.
Sebastian, have you ever pulled 11 kilowatts on your Hyundai? I don't think I've
Yes,
ever.
briefly.
Briefly, yeah. I don't think I get that high on my Kia.
You don't have a 48 amp charger.
That's right, a 48 amp charger.
I have a 48 amp charger. And so I see it briefly. Since I have the Emporia, I have an app, and I can actually see on a graph how much it's pulling and all that at any given time. And so you can see it'll be going, and then it'll dip, and then go back up, and then dip further, and then go back up. And I've even gone into like my OBD reader just to see like, okay, what are the pin temps? Like, what is triggering it? And I'll look at it. The number's never that high, in my opinion, like considering it's plastic and metal, It's like, okay, I feel like it should be able to withstand more heat than this.
Yeah, considering these cars are 800 volt architecture cars and they're zooming when you DC fast charging. It can't handle
Just
that
as an
heat.
aside, the wet
Yep.
rag trick works also.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
It'll keep it from
Yes, the
derating.
wet rag.
Yeah.
You just got to trick.
Sebastian,
You just got to trick those sensors.
I don't think Sebastian carries a wet rag in
Yeah.
his car, so.
I don't, but I'm not surprised to know that it works.
Yep.
Oh gosh,
Sebastian lost his train of thought.
I lost my
All
train
right.
of thought. Joel, save me.
I'll save you. Okay, so replace 2 charge ports, correct?
Mhm.
But it never
Yes.
really fixed the problem, correct?
Not really. It never will charge. It never did charge at the full 11 kilowatts for any
Gotcha.
amount of time.
All right. So that happened. Now let's talk about the infamous ICCU issue. So did you have any issues like that with your car? I know you had the recalls like the rest of us have,
Mhm.
2 or 3 of
I
them.
think there's a couple
Was
of
that ever an
recalls
issue?
of software. Yeah, I had a couple. There was a couple of recalls I had done with the ICCU, and basically it just changed the parameters of charging. It didn't really do much. And then I guess it was back last September, October. I had the it went out.
Oh, it did?
Had the pop.
Oh, I forgot
Had
about
the
that.
pop,
Yeah.
and it went out. Went to the dealer, and it was ICCU. Thankfully, that was at a time and point where they could actually get them in. So it was only in the shop for about a week. They had it replaced, and it was fine. But yeah, I had that problem too.
So just to remind me, and I don't remember if you already said it. How long did you have the Ioniq 6?
We had it for 2.5 years.
2.5 years. And how many miles were on it?
About 2 years actually. 72,000.
Okay,
when we
thank
got
you.
rid of
Sorry,
it.
I just was.
The
Where are you
ICCU
going, Doug?
Well, it was my wife's car for the first year and a half, and she drives a lot for work. I mean, she drives probably
Does she drive to
30,000 miles.
Oklahoma for work? Where is she going?
Close, Waldron. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, she drives quite a ways. So
Jeez.
and yeah,
Lord.
and then we
Sounds
sold it
about
to my
like me.
son. So, yeah, yeah.
35,000 miles on your car a year. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
It was, I think the
Sebastian can't say
ICCU went
anything.
out.
Yeah.
I think the ICCU went out at about 45 or 50,000 mile mark.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But I
Yeah.
believe they replaced that with the same ICCU. It's not like a newer one, is it? I think they don't have a newer
Correct.
part
Same
for that.
part.
Yeah, I think the 2026s may have a new ICCU from what I'm reading in the forum. So that may be
It's all
installing
clear
one
as
now.
mud. No one knows.
No one knows. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been told that there's actually a new part number now for the older cars. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's what I was wondering. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you had the charging port changed twice. I believe I had mine changed, correct, Sebastian?
You didn't have the port
No,
changed.
It
You
was
had a
the
module behind the port changed.
port change. See, my
but
car
not the ICCU.
My car got to a point where it could DC fast. It could a level 2 charge, but not DC fast charge. And I'm lucky I checked it before I went on a trip. Like I went and stopped by Franklin's real quick and it wouldn't charge. And I was like, Jeff, there's something wrong with your charger. He's like, no, there's not. I was like, yeah, it is. My car won't charge. Then I went down to the Hyundai dealership, plugged in. I was like, okay, maybe it's charge points. There was 2 charge point chargers. Went down to EA, nothing. Got home, it was fine. So luckily that was a quick fix. It was about a 7 to 10 day fix, but yours seemed to be a little different than mine. So you had that. You had the ICCU go, and what was this the final? Was the next one the final straw that broke the camel's
Next final
back?
straw. It happened like three times.
Ooh.
It would get to where it wouldn't. You would park it and get out of the car, get back in, and it wouldn't go into gear. It would be a park malfunction error. It was called. It wouldn't go into gear. It wouldn't go into park. It would be in park, but the car didn't think it was in park. So it wouldn't go into gear, reverse, drive. It wouldn't go into gear. That happened. The fix for it was lock the car, walk away for 20 minutes, and come back, which
Don't
is
park on
fine
a
unless you're in a Walmart parking lot and you're
Yeah.
sitting there for 20 minutes and waiting on your car to where it would go into gear. It's not cool.
Yeah, because at this point, your son was driving it, right? And he was doing spark
Right.
delivery and all that jazz.
Exactly.
Okay. Which
On
is
someone's
exactly the
driveway.
time you don't want to be sitting in someone's driveway. Yeah.
It happened in someone's driveway one time too. So yeah. And that happened 3 times. And the third time was the final straw on that. I think there is a module right above where you put the footrest is and the footwell, like your left foot, like where your left foot would go.
Mm-hmm.
Right above there is a module, and I think that people, when you get in and out, you hit that with your foot, and that's the problem. I don't think there's a fix for it. Just not
And if
put
you
your
do
foot on
that
it.
for 72,000 miles, you'll just eventually just wear and tear on that part underneath it. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Doug, this won't be reassuring for you, but you should know that is has been a thorn on the Bolt as well.
Oh, really?
In those, it's one of those. It's actually not a Bolt specific issue. It's a GM issue in cars that use the same shifter part.
Mhm.
Which actually yours has the electronic shifter, doesn't it? So you might not have
Has
the
the
issue.
buttons.
Yeah,
Has the
so yours
buttons,
might
yeah.
actually be immune from it. But that was the module actually under the thing that would basically communicate to the car that you just put it in park. Something would go on there and they would have to replace the entire shifter assembly. And that was a common
Oh,
issue on not only the Bolt, but like it would happen on the Volt, and it would happen on, I think it's like Chevy Cruises and Malibus and like all these random vehicles. And it would just come up on the screen and be like shift to park, and then wouldn't let you turn it off or turn it on or move and all that jazz.
yeah. That's kind of the same problem with Ioniq 6, yeah.
so how many times did you say it happened?
3 times.
3 times. So it wasn't every single time. It was just sporadic.
No, it was random. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is almost worse.
Which is
It's
almost
worse.
worse. You almost like to be predictable so you can plan around that way.
So,
All right. Besides that, how was owning the car?
you know what? It was great.
It
That
was?
sounds weird after all that stuff, but like Sebastian's review of his Ioniq 5, you know, all the negative stuff he said at the end, said, I really like this car.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the day, I really liked the Ioniq 6. It was a really nice car. Like I said, it drove great. Great road tripper. Excellent road tripper. It was a really good car, except for that.
What model did you have?
The 2023 with the SCL trim.
Oh, the SCL. Okay.
So cool.
Yeah.
That was you. That's you have, Sebastian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I
Yeah.
figured. All right.
It
So
has a lot of hard plastics on the inside, which I didn't like for a $50,000 car. I didn't think that was great. But other than that, and the software sucks, of course. I mean, but the car, the driving dynamic was great on it.
Yeah, and that was one thing on Ioniq 6, you know, and I think I said this back in the day when we drove one for a review, you know, it wasn't even necessarily the cheaper, because it did have, I remember some cheaper plastic feelings, but that's kind of almost expected from Hyundai, especially in the generation that car was released. They've come a long way. Like the Ioniq 9 feels excellent everywhere, whatever. But kind of that generation, that was kind of expected. And like even in my Ioniq 5, there's random places I'll be like, okay, well, that's cheap plastic. But I think I remember in the Ioniq 6, my main gripe was because they put everything in that center tunnel. It kind of put a lot of that cheaper feeling plastic right in your face.
Yeah.
And I remember that kind of being one of my like interior gripes, is just kind of the overall layout. But I agreed with you that I remember like it for a sedan, it rode great and it had, you know, felt good, like good power and good powertrain tuning and all that jazz. But yeah, anyway.
Corner's
all right.
great too.
So the Ioniq 6 is gone. Farewell. See you later. You said it was your son's driver, right?
Right. Yeah. We sold it to
where'd it go?
Carvana. Yes.
So talk about that. How'd that go? How was that experience? I've always been curious.
Oh, it's smooth. I mean, super smooth. You sell it online. They offer me $15,000 for it, which is okay.
That's some depreciation for you.
Yeah. And then we schedule pickup date. They come, they take a few pictures, look at the odometer, and load it up and haul it off. That's pretty much it.
Dang. So this is Carvana out of Memphis, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if we had one here anymore. I guess we don't. So
yeah, they used to do it out of North Little Rock, but I guess they don't no more.
That's a Tesla now.
Oh yeah, true. Forgot. Yeah.
That's a Tesla. So yeah.
I was just curious about the Carvana experience because back in COVID times when cars were weirdly cheap and interest rates are stupid low, cars were weirdly cheap, but they were also giving weirdly high amounts for trade-in values.
Yes, stupid amounts.
I sold my Nissan Frontier to Vroom which doesn't exist anymore. And that was one of the both smoothest and weirdest car buying experiences I ever had. Super smooth in the sense of like I did it on a Sunday and it took like 20 minutes. And like, and that was with me going to the website, paying the deposit, them immediately calling me, getting all the finance information, overnight FedExing me the documents, signing them because Arkansas requires wet signatures on random things, overnighting the documents back to them. I had the car in a week. But then it got weird. They dropped off the new car, but they didn't take my trade.
Oh,
Someone else come pick it up?
And they had and like the guy who dropped the car off had no idea. It was like a Russian guy. It was just some car hauler. Like he didn't work for Vroom. He just picked it up from someone.
Yep.
Like picked it up from wherever the car was sitting and just brought it to me. And he didn't have any idea because I brought the truck. I had already taken the insurance off a thing. Like I was ready to give it to him. I take the plates off. I was like, okay, here you go. And he was like, I'm not taking it. I don't have anything to pick it up. It was like, God, I'm glad I came with an extra person.
Yeah.
So then I had to drive dirty to get the truck back to the house. And 2 days later, I got a phone call from a different Russian guy saying that he had a thing to pick up the truck.
What if it wasn't there? Like, you just said you picked it up. You picked it up 2 days ago. Remember?
Well, and that was, the next day I sent the person I'd been working with Vroom. I was like, hey, so I got the car. I think that's great. That process is awesome. It's great. It works. Everything's fine. I still have my truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back and like we went back and forth a little bit. And he was like, they were like, okay, and to confirm you still have the vehicle? I was like, you don't know?
I can FaceTime you and show you.
Kudos to them though. Once they did pick it up, the payoff on it, they had it done in like 2 days.
Okay.
It was very interesting to me because it was one of those. It lined up pretty close with like my payment due date. So I went ahead and went to the bank because it was to make a payment on it just to, just in case because I didn't want it to come back as late. And I went to make a payment, and like 30 minutes later, a dude comes out and he goes, "Do you still have the truck?" I was like, "No, I just traded in." Oh, he's like, "Oh, okay, it's already paid off."
nice.
You're like, yay.
So anyway, that's the only reason I was curious about the Carvana side of it, just because my experience was both awesome and weird with one of their competitors that no longer exists.
It was really smooth.
Yep. All right. So the Ioniq 6 was your son's. It's gone. What did you get to replace it? Because you didn't you didn't add this car in the beginning. So technically it's 9, I guess. So.
Like, yeah, in fact, it just arrived today. He got a 2023 F-150 Lightning XLT.
Nice.
Very cool.
It's 2023, but it only has 4,700 miles on it.
Ooh.
So
nice.
That's low.
Big battery, small battery?
Small battery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said those are going for about what, mid-30s now?
It was 33,000.
Oh, so yeah.
Wow.
Not bad. Yeah.
That's not bad
There
at
you go,
all.
Sebastian. There's your next car.
Write that down.
I just drove it right before I popped on here, and man, that thing, it drives. It's a proper truck. It's
oh yes.
It's just like
it's an F-150. I mean,
it's an F-150. It just kind of just smooth and bounces down the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that would be a great road tripper too. So it's comfortable.
Yeah.
So
you have to charge really often.
Yeah, you do. That's what sucks. So since this is a mini charge episode, we're going to kind of wrap it up. So if you could go back and do it all over again, would you have bought the Ioniq 6?
Knowing what I know now, probably not, because we seriously had a lot of problems with it. The dealer was great. They worked us. We got a loaner every single time, but man, it was in there a lot. So probably no, honestly, if I know then what I know now.
A dealer out of Little Rock, or did you go to Fort Smith? What dealer did you use?
Conway, Chris Crane.
Oh, Conway. That's right. I forgot about Conway. I always forget about that one there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They were great to work with, but it was just there an awful lot.
Gotcha. Well, Doug, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll have you on in 6 months when you have another EV. And
it was great. Hey, it's always great being with y'all guys. Thanks for inviting me.
All right. And we want to thank you all for watching today. Don't forget before you leave to like and subscribe so you know when new content comes out. Thank you all for joining us on our weekly mini charge episode, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.